How are we? Today, I just want to say I love you guys. How about you,
Oh,
Bender?
The crypto bender loves you too. What's up, guys?
Tiger
Thanks
loves
for
you too.
thanks for joining in today. We're going to have something a little bit different to what we usually do. We'll have a quick overview of some of the news. Bender's got a little bit of alpha for you, and I might do a bit of a gem review live just to show you guys what I look for in a project. And this one is very popular amongst the Adapt Crypto crew, yet to be launched. So it is. You've got a bit of time to do your own research as well. But we'll cover off on the market. A bit of a mixed bag overall. I think there's still a bit of uncertainty about Bitcoin, but overall, things are looking quite healthy. Expecting it to sort of really take off, I think, by, even tomorrow or Friday my time anyway. Or sorry, Saturday my time, which is Friday America. A little bit of a reason as to why we need a decentralized network for our finances. This one was pretty big. We had the federal system go down today for a few hours because, you got a crappy network. So obviously this sort of stuff wouldn't happen with Bitcoin anyway. That's pretty much all I have. I don't really want to go too much. There wasn't a lot of news today, so I'm not going to try and draw it out. We're still on the, still orbiting Mars, and Bitcoin dominance is no real change. Over to you, Bender.
Oh, goody. It's a quick time for a little teensy bitty alpha drop. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Pardon the rough transition. All right. Hope you all can see this. So we are on the Twitter feed for Sushi Seth. And what do we have here? We have an official announcement for the second round of their onsen program. If you guys are not aware of the onsen program, I do not want to know you anymore. Just kidding, but the onsen program is just their liquidity, attraction, liquidity bait, whatever, to get people into depositing their funds onto the SushiSwap platform. And they will be offering some pretty high APYs for doing so. But in the past, with the current onsen program, we have seen people rush to deposit their liquidity and onto their platform because they are offering the typical liquidity pool rewards, same as you would see on Uniswap, and also sushi rewards. Got to get those yummy sushi while you can. But this round of onsen pairs, we have the MBTC, that is through the Meta M-Stable program. So just a synthetic BTC. We have Vesper Finance, a whole bunch of other fairly well-known projects. We have, oh, never mind, let's not talk about that one. That one hurts a little bit personally on the inside. But GRT definitely a big name cryptocurrency at the moment. Phantom for sure. 0x, crazy. We have not DeriSwap, but Deri Protocol. That's just a derivatives protocol. I don't know if they have released their working product yet. But we have a lot of different pairs that will be supported in the new onsen, and those will be rewarding liquidity providers with sushi tokens just for providing and potentially staking their liquidity. We also
sorry, just to interrupt. Do they kind of work in the same way that Uniswap works, or is there like a different kind of system there with rewards and impermanent losses and all that kind of stuff? Like, are you able to explain the differences?
Yeah, so the differences aren't that big, honestly. At the moment, the main difference is that you'll be receiving sushi tokens in addition to your typical LP provided rewards. So with both Uniswap and SushiSwap, if you're a liquidity provider, you do get that LP fee, that small fee that the automated market maker charges people who make swaps on the platform. It's just 0.3%. Uniswap will put that towards the entire 0.3% towards the liquidity pools. SushiSwap will take 0.025 to go directly to the pool, the liquidity providers, but SushiSwap puts in the difference, the 0.05% towards Sushi rewards. And then on top of that, if you are providing liquidity to an incentivized pair, like the ones listed before you, you get bonus rewards in Sushi tokens. And those can be compounded if you stake your LP tokens on the platform if they're available. So the previous round of pairs in the Onsen program, I'm not going to name them off the top of my head because I don't remember all of them, but there were a fair amount of really strong performers. Just coming to mind from the previous Onsen, Rari governance token, RGT, was definitely a big one. If everyone was listening in on the, I guess the sushi llama pickle little debacle that drove me crazy for like an hour, that was also incentivized in the Onsen program. And a lot of these get a lot of hype. You'll see people rushing to buy the token in the pair so they can start earning sushi rewards. And I expect to see a similar increase in token price for every single one of these, at least in the short term. So if you're holding already, then you may be in for some nice, juicy price action. But if you're not, don't worry too much about it. These things go in hype cycles, so as soon as the initial hype's over, you might see a little bit of retracement on those. So just be careful not to buy the top.
Yeah, I've got a fair bit of USDT, so I'd love to see that go up and really improve on price.
Just a cheeky 2x.
Yeah, USDT to the moon, right? Yeah, well, that's all I got on the sushi front. One of the other things I did want to bring up, let me see if I still have this link. Hang on, let me go ahead and stop share here. But is anyone a big fan of Diamond Hands?
I think everyone's a big fan of Diamond Hands.
Guys, if you have Diamond Hands, if your hands have been under pressure and they have been just forged into that rock hard jewel that will never sell, Diamond Hands, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever else. Just make sure we know you're in here.
Lara, do you have anything?
I actually don't. No, I'm here to make us look decent and to add annoying little comments occasionally.
That's fine. Alrighty, guys. So we've got a...
Damn.
Sorry?
Damn. No, nothing. Never mind. Making a cheeky comment.
No. All right. So I'm just going to go through something I do when I'm looking into projects. And this one has also been in popular demand. Some of you might have been clickbaited into 1000x, and it's still possible. I didn't give a time frame, so maybe it'll go 1000x eventually. However, I do want to show you how I sort of search for gems, and it's getting a lot easier these days, to be honest. Back in the day, you couldn't really tell what was a scam, what wasn't. You do sort of your own fault finding. Are they an anonymous team? What have they been audited? Is there something wrong with their code? And there's a lot of things that you can't really check, and you expect it to be checked on. Well, there's services out there that will do these checks on your behalf to secure secure your funds when you're going into an ICO, IDO, or some sort of launch. And we know PokerStarter has they outsource theirs to Contura from memory. So they're the ones that audit the code. They also then you have TrustSwap. I'm assuming, I haven't looked to see if they outsource, but they do some sort of due diligence there in what sort of projects they choose. I know they have had one pickup a while ago, but they've been pretty good since. And this is one of their projects here. It's called Bitcoin Vend, and I think one of the biggest issues I see within the cryptocurrency space is a lack of simplicity. There's, we talk about this magic internet money that nobody really understands, and then you try to tell everyone how easy it is, but it's not really that easy, is it? And there's a reason why, if you look at Apple has done really well with their smartphones because it is dumb proof. It is so easy for you to use it, and it takes all the thinking or all that exploration of fault finding to be able to work out how to do things. So that I look out for these sort of projects that will make that can help achieve that mass adoption with the use of simple applications or some sort of user interface or some sort of product that is very easy that even your grandmother can pick up and just start going, yeah, I'm gonna pay for something with Bitcoin, for instance. This one sort of caught my eye a little bit. It's Bitcoin Vend. First thing, I got a screen share first. Sorry guys, and the one I chose is Bitcoin Vend. First things first, like appearances do mean a lot within the crypto space. There are a lot of memes out there where a lot of $1 million projects didn't even have a website. Boy, have we come a fair distance since then. But essentially what you have here is Bitcoin Vend is a product that enables, well, essentially it's going to claim to be the next eBay, the next Facebook marketplace, the next Amazon. And we'll be the judge of that, obviously, when they release their product. But they've got a peer-to-peer transaction and business, peer-to-peer and business transaction system, so you can buy and sell things seamlessly and with other people, and it's very simple. And it's so simple, in fact, I remember, I don't have the it up in front of me, but essentially it could just come up as a fiat value for those who don't quite understand cryptocurrency. So yes, it is. I think that's going to be something that's going to be very useful within the space. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a few already out there that are already doing this. I don't think they've quite nailed it yet. And I think these guys have an advantage by providing a bit of a combination. We know Request Token has a payment sort of system that's meant to be easy. You can integrate it with your e-commerce website. You also have shopping.io, but it's just an in-between sort of platform that links you to all the websites and other marketplaces. Whereas this one, it's going to create a marketplace, and it's going to allow you, and it doesn't necessarily need a marketplace either. You can use it to because it still has that peer-to-peer transaction. So it's sort of two products into one. You see these others that are just doing one or the other. And there's probably some out there that have, do it as well. I just don't know of them. So feel free to let me know in the comments. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that I've identified utility. This is something that I believe people need. I'm not going to bring up data and how much is spent in retail shopping, but it's a lot. There's a reason why Amazon is worth, Amazon, Facebook, and eBay are worth what they are today. I'm just going to sort of breeze through some of this sort of information. There you go. You can buy and sell anything. So that should, you're assuming that you can, list your 5-wheeled bike that you've never used, but you bought because it looks really cool online. And you go down here. First things first, I know this is just a medium, but you want to see that they're at least not an anonymous team. And to be honest, what I would do is I always go to, I always check to see if their team is legit. Give me one moment. Talking. Somewhere around here. How is it? LinkedIn. There we go. We got LinkedIn right here. Sweet. View all 3 employees. I have to log in. Anyway, that's how you check it to make sure.
It's live, guys.
Yeah. You can check to make sure that these people are real. You want to make sure that there is a LinkedIn profile for the business, and it is and it's also on the individual person's LinkedIn as well. And that's how because you can link anyone's LinkedIn profile, right? So you got to make sure that there is a distinguished link between the project and the person itself on their personal profile. One of the other
just a quick touch on that. Sorry, with the LinkedIn profiles, you should also check to make sure that they have actual connections and that the LinkedIn profile wasn't just created and a whole bunch of stuff added to it. You should be able to look into how long that LinkedIn profile has existed. If it was just created within the past week, it's probably not legit.
Yeah, excellent. That's exactly right. All right, so the next step, once I go, all right, it's not an anonymous team because that's one of my ticks to make sure that there's no red flags. I also check to see if there's a white paper. I haven't seen a white paper yet. That might be because features technology. That might be just because it's a brand new project, but I do like to get my nerd on just a little bit so I can sort of understand and at least get a feel to know that they understand what they're trying, the work that's involved with what they're trying to promise. All right, next thing is I want to have a look at the tokenomics. Now, what we have here, it has a percentage of allocations on the left here. And, you want to essentially check for red flags. We all know of those projects where the dev dumps a huge amount of cryptocurrency on his fellow community and everyone loses everything that they put in. So what we do see here is we've got team 20%, and it looks like that 0 will be, distributed on day one. So essentially they're going to have to wait after the 3-month period, and there'll be an unlock over the next 24 months after that. They've got an allocation for advisors too, so it's good to know that advisors can't dump on you as well. Community and marketing fund, it's good. They have some funds there, so you can keep an eye on their marketing. You sort of understand that there's going to be a period of time after that 2-month period, after the first 2 months, that they will start paying advertisers to market their products. You have foundation funds. This is more development. It's something to keep an eye on as well. But essentially, what I'm seeing here is that there's going to be only a few tokens here. The private round 20% unlocked on day one, and we have the token offering to TrustSwap of 30% of the 11%. So what I'm saying is, even though there has been a private sale, not a lot of the people who are holding the tokens can sell straight away, which is really good, at least for the first 1 to 2 months there. Essentially, you got really ideal tokenomics for a good uptick in the price. I will say that, yep.
Can I ask a question? Just finish up on this section, but just for the people at home that don't understand vesting and cliffs, if you could explain what all that means for them, that'd be great.
Yeah, so cliff, I haven't heard of the terminology of cliff before, but in the context, I can sort of work it out. Essentially, let's say 20% allocation to the team, they are not allowed to sell their tokens until 3 months has passed. And then I imagine they don't get all their tokens. That 20% will be broken up into lots of, I'm going to assume they do a little bit every 1 month. You need to sort of find more details there and what's the breakdown. But over the next 24 months, they get a little bit more that they can actually use and potentially sell for profit, or whatever they want to do with their tokens. But a lot of these projects, this is one of the problems that really frustrates me. They use a lot of different projects use different terminology, and it can be quite frustrating. But I'll go back to my point. We're seeing ideal tokenomics for launch at this stage. And things are looking pretty good. There's a bit of an airdrop there, but you can't use it until 3 months as well. But there's going to be a very small circulating supply initially, which means, and when you have such a high demand, you should see the price explode. And to be honest, I think some of the better launches actually come from TrustSwap. And I know that sort of sounds weird because PokerSwap, you see a constant 50 to 100 X's, but that's because they give such a small allocation to such a small amount of people. and usually the bots have lined up their snipe bots well in advance as well. So they buy, we've seen a super farm, the Uniswap liquidity pool, 70% was bought up within less than a second by one bot. And it happens very often with a lot of other projects. Initial market cap, 975K. So here I am thinking, all right, cool. We've established that we have about 1 to 2 months, and the initial market cap's only going to be less than 1 million. So I will then go, all right, what else? Who are their competitors? We've got Shopping.io. It's not quite, I know it's definitely not the same. It's more of an in-betweener, but we have, and I know there's been a little bit of hype for this project as well. A few influencers have talked about them, but we have 33 million market cap. So, that's a 33% X essentially for Bitcoin Vend to sort of catch up. And they're also providing another service. Here is another payment provider here, 73 million. And I'm sure there's a few others out there that you guys could sort of rattle up and sort of find for yourselves. But this is, sometimes you can look for these opportunities in a short time frame, right? And what I could potentially do is I go, I know it's going to boom. I know the initial offering price is going to be about 10 cents. And to be honest, it's very difficult with the ETH gas fees. So you got to really weigh up, what the potential is here. But you could aim for, you can try and aim for, the low price there, and you could, turn up the gas and sort of risk it a little bit, or you could wait for the bots to do their thing, and then they dump on the people that don't know, and then buy in, and that demand will keep the chart going up, unless there's something bad at launch. So there's a lot of potential for this within the first 2 months, and then after the first month or two, I'd have to reassess. Reassess my position. I might take out initial investment. I might leave a moon bag. Whatever your strategy is, it's really up to you guys. Sorry, the Uniswap listing price will be 12.5 cents. So it's a very basic view of tokenomics. I like to break it down. It's hard to really absorb such a large amount of information. You try to break it down as small as possible. The way you can work out what you want to do in a shorter time frame, and maybe you can develop a plan if you've got the time for it. And for those who've got TrustSwap, you need about 4,000 tokens, which is about $12,000 worth of TrustSwap, or a swap score of 2,500. I don't know much about the swap score. There's a bit of a table there, and how much you're guaranteed to be able to buy. It is getting pricey. There's a premium on these services, but this is a very basic breakdown. I think this project will potentially, with some of that I've already shown you, I reckon it's got a potential of 30x here. Hopefully gas fees aren't too crazy. I think you'll easily see this around the $2 to $2.50 price after launch, when things sort of settle down. I think it'll probably spike a lot more. But these are some of the basics essentially that I'll look at. I do a much deeper dive, but for me to invest my money, I want to make sure the tokenomics are good. And this is the first thing I look at. And I can go into a much more deeper dive. If you guys, have any questions here, just ask them. One of the other things is like one of the things I haven't really covered here is, what is the token's utility? What does my token enable me to do? So let's have a quick look at that, because that's one thing. We all get hyped about these projects, right? And then it's like, oh, I could use their product without even having to buy their token. So let's just see if I can sort of find their token here, step-by-step guide. No, that's the launch pad.
While you're looking, I think everyone should hit that like button, because I'm pretty sure it'll speed you along a little, Yeah, we all need encouragement. We all need encouragement, and Gooding's no exception. So hit that like button and really, get him working hard for you.
Thanks, guys. I did find the people. Let's see, the Bitcoin Vend team. Okay, so here's the breakdown where you can sort of, I'm assuming you can go into portfolio not found. There's a red flag. Let's see if this guy, okay, so it's doing a quick security check. Cool. Our mission, I'll see if I can quickly find the I want to see if I can quickly just find the utility of the token. And this is why I'd look for a white paper, because it does it should break down this sort of stuff. So I'm assuming that you're going to need their token to process their all the payments on their network. I did read something about nodes as well in the Medium. So that, that all of a sudden, that's another example, utility for their token. One of the throwaways is governance. I'll see if I can quickly just read without taking up too much of your time. And this is probably the point here where, if it takes me too much time, I'd literally go straight into the run nodes. There's a utility vote. Here we go. Sorry, holding enough. Okay, sorry, it's right in front of me all this time. You can vote, become mediators. This is interesting. Who get paid the transaction value? Okay, so if there's a conflict, you can become a mediator and get paid. We've seen this concept on the paid network. I haven't seen it live yet, but I think it is a valuable sort of concept. Increase their trust score, increasing the willingness of users. Okay, so you can get a reputation. So, we're starting to see in such a scammy space, people need to be able to, when they transact with someone, it's just like when you go to Airbnb or Booking.com, you first thing you check is your reviews. And if it has low reviews, you're going to be inclined to, put your money elsewhere. So there is value in this sort of stuff. Get discounted fees in the app and pay no fees at all. So holding a certain amount of tokens allows you to buy things cheaper on this platform that's claiming to be the next Amazon. So there's that little bit of utility for you guys to sort of understand. I think what we'll also see by going off their roadmap as well. So here's another factor I like to really take into account of how long I'll sort of hold a token for or when I'll invest is their roadmap. And you're probably asking why, because and we've all seen it with projects when there is a lull or a gap in between news or information. Essentially people get bored. And then they, there's so much noise in the crypto space that they just dump and then go for, some other token and probably chase green candles and lose all their money, right? Probably on Doge. And what we're sort of seeing here is, unfortunately it's Q1. It'd be awesome if I had, specific dates. It's never going to happen here, but, very basic. They're saying in Q1 they're not going to do anything other than launch on Uniswap. Went into beta testing and user acceptance testing. I'd look more into that. And we got Q2. There you go. So you want to make sure there's not too much of a lull for the app, because I'm baffled by the idea if you have this token that you sell everyone and then they're expected to hold it, show diamond hands, but they can't use it for what it's intended. These two things need to be, the reason for holding the token needs to be there, I believe, immediately. And hopefully very smoothly as well. So I'm not going to go too far into the roadmap. I'm just giving you examples and just sort of some of the things I look at when I'm going to dive into a new project. Overall, I really like Bitcoin Vend, and I know some of you guys do as well.
Can I ask?
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Well, it's more of a comment, I guess. I think with launches for products that are yet to, or there's a bit of a gap between launching a token and actually launching the product itself, you do need to expect, as Gooding said, that things will die down. You have the hype of a launch where people just want to get that initial cash grab. So when it hits that bottom, really keep an eye out for that bottom. And if it's, 3 or 4 months until any kind of demos or launches of actual products, that's the time that you want to be accumulating if you really think the project has really solid FA. If those fundamentals are there and you really believe that the team are working on it and are strong, and that's something that, be part of the community in their Telegram groups and their Discords, etc. Just like you're active in our Telegram and our Discords. Talk to them. A lot of times there's devs online or representatives at least that can answer questions. So if things are actually being done or not in the background. And as that dip is there and that accumulation zone is there, make use of it. Make use of it, because when they do launch, if it's a really great product, the price will go up. Right before launch, it'll start going up. So yeah, get into it and get involved so that you can keep tabs on what's happening, so you know if it's a worthwhile investment in accumulating a little more when it is at its lower non-hype time periods.
Yeah, and I just want to make a comment on that as well. The roadmap is a very good thing to bring up when you're evaluating a project for more than just you know, what they have planned. It's a good way after you've already, you know, created a position, you're holding your tokens, and you know the price is doing pretty well. But more than that, the roadmap is a way to measure progress against the benchmarks and the goals that they've set for themselves. If you see a project that has set a very ambitious roadmap, that's generally going to create a lot of hype depending on what goals they've set. But if they continuously push back the benchmarks, the goalposts that they have set for themselves, then you know you can't really be extended. So you can't really have a long-term hope for them if they never meet up to their expectations. And it's kind of like the same that you saw in like 2017 ICO phase, where everything just turned into vaporware. The developments are very important to the long-term health and growth of the network, of the project, of the greater adoption of the platform. And if they can't meet these goals, then I mean, sometimes you just got to cut one loose. But these seem like very attainable goals. I mean, they've put out a clear roadmap with, you know, general timeframes for what they're going to be doing and when. And you know, if you know they keep in setting these goals and meeting them, then we should continue to see a good appreciation in the value of the tokens.
Yeah, good advice. I have two comments. So one is which both of you touched on, is a form of leadership and communication from the devs or the dev team that are providing this project. And I think a very good standard is, and I know not everyone likes Charles Hoskinson, but he does so many YouTube like live AMA, so surprise AMAs, or just an update like all the time. You have a look at it, you can YouTube him. It's literally just 3+ times a week. And I don't know any of other projects that are doing that. And I wouldn't say you should expect it. However, that is a very good standard to have. Everyone is informed literally all the time, right? The other thing is this year, this Q3, Q4 is very bullish. They're saying that they're going to apply for a banking license. They're going to have withdrawals. So they're going to have, this one here is good. You know, there's a lot of these projects that are like, yeah, we're good for the crypto community, but you want the projects that are be good for the no coiner community, everyone else essentially. And because that's the mass adoption right there, potential. So yeah, I think that's going to be massive. But both of these are massive. Then you have the additional feature of loans. That is really big. You know, everyone loves decentralized finance, right? And yeah, that's something. Something else. Sorry. Oh, the other one was full marketing campaigns. I think they're a little bit fluffy at the end here, but you know, it's good to see that they're going to be focusing on non-crypto users and merchants. So I'm seeing some really good signs in Q3, Q4, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, the application, and a good testament to see if your money's in the right place is when they deliver on that application, that it is is delivering what they promise. And that if they do, then I'll hold. And geez, maybe I'd even buy more. It really depends on how well they nail their product. Does anyone have any questions? Anything? Anything? Do you like this sort of content where I'm giving you breakdowns of these launches and what my perspective is, or if there's anything that I might have missed and that you guys would recommend? I'm all ears as well. Yeah, this is a learning environment, and we'll get better at this sort of stuff together. And while you're doing that, while you're thinking and frantically typing there, I think that's about it that I have. Is anything? Any of you guys have anything else to talk about?
No. Sorry, guys. I'm
No,
blank
that's fine.
today.
Look, we
Brain
might
is
wrap it up
mush.
there. I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in today. If you do have any questions and you're looking at this at a later time, feel free to, if you leave a comment on the playback of these live streams, I do go over them and I do respond within 24 hours. I like to admit, unless it's a really dumb comment. But you know, I'll be there and I'll answer them as best as I can. So no worries. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.
Beep boop, beep boop.